Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 3 replays in the Soviet Tier 8 Premium Medium tank, the Senjutsu TO-55. Now this is a tank that is part of the Metal Fest collaboration set that they've done, and this one's for Iron Maiden, clearly. And it's a very, very fun medium tank at Tier 8. It's basically like the old school T-54, but at Tier 8. And a flamethrower added on, because why not? And it is, yeah, it's a lot of fun. So why is it like the old school T-54? And what do you know, I can hear you all going, what do you mean by that? Well, it's got pretty similar armour. The turret armour is worse. The hatches on top are far easier to pen than the T-54 ever was. But the hull armour is pretty good. It means it's very, very good at side scraping, because that is one thing. It can ricochet shots off the upper plate at extreme angles and stuff like that, like you've just seen against the AMBT. They do have to hit your lower plate for the most part to pen you, unless you're going against, like, you know, tier 10 levels of penetration, like 260 pen, which is the way it probably should be. And, yeah, they can pen your cupolas. But you can side scrape very, very, very well in this tank. Just the way that the Soviet tanks are set out means that if you use this thing to brawl and go and side scrape, you will bounce a lot of shots off your side, and then you can dish out the damage with this gun. And you can also flamethrower on top of that too. And that's something that the old school T-54 was always fantastic for. I mean, it still is fantastic for it. But the other thing that makes this tank very much like the old school T-54 is the gun. And that's because the gun is basically the old school T-54 gun. Except for, obviously, it's got less DPM and the accuracy isn't quite where that gun was at. And that is because this gun has 201 penetration on its AP rounds, which is a bit low, sure. But then you have 330 heat pen, which is just dirty. It's dirty heat pen. And it's beautiful because you absolutely trash everything you'll ever face with that heat pen. You really will. It's filthy penetration, and yeah. The accuracy on the gun's 0.37 accuracy, which again is getting on the derpier side of things, but you don't feel it that much. It tends to hit a lot of the shots you want to hit. It hits a lot of the spots that you need to hit. You've got 2.1 second aim time, which means that the gun does get aimed in very, very quickly. It means you're not waiting around for the gun, and you can just get the shots off pretty quickly. You do have 5 degrees of gun depression, though. That is very, very Soviet, so that's something you do have to bear in mind. If you're using a ridgeline, you've got to put yourself in the right spot. And then on top of that, you have this flamethrower that you've just seen me trying to use. We didn't hit that Prima Victoria because he was a little bit too far away, and that's because this flamethrower has a range of 144 meters. So if the target is more than 144 meters away, your flamethrower is not going to work. Now, how do you get to your flamethrower? Well, you just hold A, or should I say, you hold your reload button. For me, that is A. I press A to be able to change between my AP, heat, and HE. That's my controller scheme. It might be different for all of you. It depends on what you've got. But the button that you normally press to change between the ammo types, that's what you have to hold it to switch between the multi-weapon system, as always, and you can get to this flamethrower. Now, the flamethrower is very, very nice, because while it's not that great of a thing to have on a main weapon like the Soldier On has, because, well, you don't do as much damage as you would do firing the main cannon, with a tank like the Senjutsu, you can use your main gun to fire for 328 damage, as you've just seen against the Iron Rain, and then if we were close enough, then you could just go to town, like you're seeing here while we're reloading, with the flamethrower onto a target, and that means that your damage just keeps ticking over. And that's like the machine guns, or the 20mm autocannons on the AMX-30s in Cold War, and the fact that, you know, your main cannon's really nice, but you can also have a fantastic secondary weapon system weapon that also just keeps your damage ticking and ticking and ticking. And it means that you never really feel like you're out of a fight when you're in a little brawl. It means you always feel like you're going to be on top of a brawl, which is definitely very, very nice for a tank like the Senjutsu. So what do I run in terms of a crew on the old Senjutsu? I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Trap Mechanics, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Camouflage Expertise. Camouflage Expertise to be able to make my camo better, because I'm a medium tank. I do like to be able to make the most of stealthy camo at times, and you do have 340 meters of still concealment, so with the, you know, with the camo perk, you get it down a little bit lower. It's always nice to help that camo if you can in that way. And then in terms of the gun perks, I run the gun perks, so let's say 0.3 accuracy isn't, oh sorry, 0.37 accuracy isn't the most accurate in the universe, and again, it's getting to the derpier side of accuracy, so I want to help the gun out as much as I humanly can do. Trap mechanic, by the way, because I brawl in this tank, as you're going to see in these replays, and side scraping and stuff like that, your tracks tend to get blown off. It's nice to be able to repair them when you realise something with a big derp gun or something like that is looking at you. But you can see you can side scrape pretty damn nicely against tanks like that 4202 there and block the shots. And in terms of equipment, I run the advanced loader, the vertical stabilisers and the optics. Optics to be able to spot for myself, the vertical stabiliser or the gun stabiliser to make the gun as good as possible, and the loader to make the DPM as good as possible on the tank as well. So as you can see, that first game we finished with the victory, 5 kills, 6,000 damage, 458 assistance, a good amount of blocks, the ace tanker, the high caliber, 2,100, well, nearly 2.2k base, which is a really great game for the Senjutsu and a pretty nice matchup. It's mostly tier 8 in that game. And you did see a lot of what this tank can do. You can use the 55 kilometers an hour top speed, which it hits quite easily to get about the map very, very nicely. You can relocate very easily in this tank. You can use the armor to side scrape, bounce a lot of shots. I mean, we still bounced a fair few shots when we weren't side scraping from tanks of our own tier. They've got about that 220 pen mark. But when obviously people started to fire premium, and obviously they had, you know, that 260 odd pen, that's when they start to go through the upper plate quite easily. It's just like the T-54 in that way, where if something's got 220 pen probably or less, or 230 pen, something in that range, you know, it's in that ballpark, RNG and all that factoring in. If you're angling, you can bounce stuff off your upper plate, and they have to hit your lower plate. But as soon as you're facing like the tier 9s and 10s that have the 260 pen plus, or 250 pen plus really, they start to absolutely butcher your hull armor. But you still have the strength that is your side scraping capacity, which is very, very nice. And then, like I say, you can put in the hurt with the very, very nice gun with very, very good penetration, pretty decent accuracy, pretty good aim time, and then the flamethrower on top of that. So we're into the second replay, and the second replay we're in a bottom tier matchup on Berlin, which, as you think, for a medium tank, is probably not going to be the best in the universe, because it's a bit of a brawly map, and it's a bottom tier matchup for a tier 8 medium tank. That's not good, right? Well, Senjutsu's going to show you it can stand up for itself. And yeah, I really enjoy this tank for this playstyle. The way it plays, just like the E50 in a way. Like, you know, I can play aggressively, I can do multiple different things. I can play stealthy if I want to, I can play aggressively, and I can play it off to my own strengths, which is very, very nice. And yeah, currently, obviously, with it being Metal Fest Encore, sorry, yeah, I forgot the word. Metal Fest Encore, it's on sale at the minute, and I don't know when it's going to come, who knows when it'll come back, but it is, for me, one of the pickups for this Metal Fest, because it's a very, very good tank. This and the P cells. The only issue with the two tanks, obviously, is that they are fairly expensive tanks. I mean, this is 10,000 for a tier 8 premium medium tank, which is pretty expensive, but it's a very, very good tank. And I say, I've got 2 videos already on this tank, but someone asked for another video on it since it's back, and here we go. And as you can see so far, this game, we managed to shut down that 907. Good times. We're up to 1,484 damage with 749 assistance, and we're in a bit of a pickle. There's quite a lot of their team that are in this field, and a lot of my team are actually sat back at A3, which means that I know that the Revelarice, or the Super Sherman, sorry, is not actually going to attack me, because he's going to get destroyed by the guys behind me if he's not careful. But I can't side scrape and pull back too far, because that Super Sherman, as you can see, will get shots into me. And I decide, okay, you know what, forget the Ferdinand. I'm just going to start getting shots into this Super Sherman. Just want to try and get some shots into him and get rid of him. So I pop one into him. He's pulled back, and I think, okay, that Ferdinand's now moving, because you always keep an eye on your map. That Ferdinand was like, hey, that Senjutsu's run away. Now I'm not going to get shot in the side, so I'm going to move up. So I chose that time and went, okay, you think you can get away with that? No, you're not getting away with it. And I got shot into his side, and he got shut down. Now there's the Earthshaker making the same cross. We aimed for the track, and we actually did hit the track, but somebody else already tracked him, damaged his Amarak, but he uses a repair kit. He took another hit, though, which put him down to a one-shot, and we shut down that Earthshaker. Now we're going to turn around again to deal with the M51 Super Sherman. I decide, okay, you know what, I'm probably going to take the hit from this Super Sherman, which we do, but we did get the shot into him, and I'm like, no, Mr. Super Sherman, no. You do not run away from Senjutsu, my friend. We get a nice shot into him on the move, and then tried to flame him, but he got away. Now I've realised, oh, this is kind of awkward. These guys can see me through the middle. Well, We're going to side scrape it. We bounce both the 705 and the Chieftain Mark 6 off our side, hopefully getting the reload in to get the kill on this Chieftain, side scraping it out, and thankfully we managed to shut down the Chieftain. Again, just showing how good the side armor can be, and if you play it to the right angle, you can bounce a lot of shells. The 705 is now distracted by the tank coming in on him on his side. We pop a shot with heat straight through his side there, because we do need the heat rounds to really go through the low plate, even of that 705. But we didn't need any more shells as the Earthshaker shuts down the 705. We finished with the epic victory there on Berlin in a pretty bad matchup there for the tank. 3 kills, 4.6k damage, 749 assistance. By the way, man of culture, that 4005. The Leverschlei's medal, Leverschlei's medal, there we go. The Ace Tanker and the 2033 base XP. A really nice game there for the Senjutsu. And yeah, the Leverschlei's medal is the one for getting 2 kills on 2 tanks 2 tiers higher. There you go. And we're on to the third and final replay. And as you can hear, in the last replay, I don't think I had Eddie in the tank. The first replay and this replay, you will hear Eddie growling. So, yeah, the Iron Maiden commanders, if for those that want to know about the voice lines, possibly, the Iron Maiden commanders, which are Eddie doesn't really have voice lines. He just has growls. He just growls a lot. Which is like, yeah, fair enough. He's kind of like voice checking that way, right? But sometimes I do wish he actually just had voice lines. That's why, for me, out of all the voice commanders, he's a little bit more disappointing. While the growling is cool, I do like having just the different actual voice lines as opposed to just shooting something and it growls. Or like Ash the cat that just meows every now and then and has a furball, which is... yeah, it's a thing. But yeah, so I like the actual voice lines. So for me, the Iron Maiden... Eddie commanders aren't really for me because I'm just not a fan of the voice lines, to be honest. I prefer to have the actual voice lines as opposed to growling. But yeah, so bear in mind that he doesn't actually have voice lines, he just growls. That's the PSA out there for you if you wanted to buy the commanders for Eddie. So yeah, we're on the third and final replay. And the third and final replay is on El Alamein. We're top tier, which is nice. That dragon gets unspotted. I'm like, okay. He got unspotted, maybe he popped out. We tried to pop a blind shot at him, but we didn't hit it. He's actually firing Hesh at us. We get shot through his turret front. Something bounced on us from the right, which made me think, okay. Now there's an IS-2 in front of us. He's in the open, though, so hopefully we can get some shots into him before he gets himself back into cover. And we can use this position here with our gun depression, which is decent. We do have to overexpose a little bit on the lower side, though, which is a little bit annoying. Obviously, if we had 10 degrees of gun depression, stuff like that, we could use a bit higher on the ridgeline, spot the cross a little bit easier. Oh! Pixel shots! Take those. And, yeah, you could stay safe a little bit easier, spot the cross a little bit more, and use your turret armor. This HWK-12 managed to take a cheeky shot at us. He gets the shot straight through us, which is kind of sad. But we do finally get the shot into him. He bounces off our upper plate. Like I say, if he's not firing the heat rounds and he's at this sort of angle against the upper plate, there's a likelihood he's probably going to not pen. Because, I mean, I think the Senjutsu does have a little bit of spaced armor plate over the top of the upper plate, which actually does as well help to bounce things. So, yeah, with his pen, he's probably not going to. We end up spotting that Dragon, who's put himself rather in a very important place there. Just wait for the reload. Hopefully we'll shut down this Dragon, and we do shut him down. That was not the best place for that Dragon to be. And thankfully, yeah, we got the kill on him. We secure our first kill of this game. Now the HWK's running. It's like, no, sir. You do not run away. You don't get to shoot the Senjutsu and get away with it. Eddie doesn't like that. He does not like that. And we get rid of that tier 8 light tank there. Now I decide, okay, you know what? I'm going to move forward and spot. Which we have. That's a Cromit right there. And you might be going, Cromit? It says Comet. What do you mean Cromit? Cromit. It's a Cromwell with the Comet turret. No. It's a Comet with the Cromwell turret. We got there at the end, brain. Well played, mate. Well played. Yeah, it's a Comet with a Cromwell turret. It's basically a stock Comet. I call it Cromit because that's what it is. And to be honest, it's kind of a catchy name if I do say so myself. Now there's the Chrysler K in front of us who's attacking our Oni. Yes, Oni. And we are using the flamethrower. So this is, again, in this sort of situation, is where the tank is very, very nice. Because we can keep slapping the heat rounds in, but while we're reloading, we can just keep the damage ticking over. We can end up putting him down to a one-shot for our heat. Once we shoot him, we didn't kill him with the heat rounds, but we have the flamethrower to finish him off. And we finished that Chrysler K off there with the flamethrower of the Senjutsu, which is really, really nice. We're up to 4.2k damage and 47 assistance, 4 kills. The little Firefly over there is trying to get a shot into us, but he can't quite get his gun down because the Firefly doesn't actually have that good a gun depression. The Pantera gets spotted on the ridge lines in front. We get a shot into the back end of the Pantera there. He's staying out on top of the ridgeline there, which is juicy. And as you can see, we have 0.37 accuracy, right? But with the stabilizer, with all the gun perks, the accuracy on this gun is really quite nice. It doesn't feel like it misses that often. Yeah, the reload for 300 alpha is 6.9 seconds isn't slow, but you know, but it's not the fastest in the universe. But you've got a flamethrower on top of that, which can be a nice thing to utilize. We now get the 5th kill there on that ISM, and this Firefly, I'm sorry, bro, but you are being my Top Gun. I'm looking at this guy going, Top Gun, yes! Flame him down to a one-shot and finish him off with the main cannon. We load the HE for the last tank alive, which is the artillery. Bert tries to get a shot into us. I'm thinking, can we get Devastator? Oh, come on, Bert. Yes! Thank you, Bert. Thank you for that. We shut down Bert the Avenger, and we finish the game with a really nice total for the Senjutsu. The victory, 7 kills, 6,090 damage, 2.2k base XP. A really great game for the Senjutsu there, with the ace tank of the Devastator, the high caliber, the Top Gun, and yeah, a really, really nice total for the Senjutsu. It's honestly a very, very fun tank, and it's back for... Well, you never know. This could be back for a limited time, and then they might release the unskinned version or the unlicensed version. Who knows? But it's back for a limited time. It is a pretty damn nice tank. And whoever asked for this video for this tank, well played you. You've got yourself a video. And to be fair, I had replays for it anyway because I do enjoy this tank. So if you did enjoy the video, please do not forget to like and subscribe down below. We are getting very, very close to 7k subs. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!